Welcome to the Entertainment Rants Podcast, your number one opinion source for all things entertainment. Join host Marco Mazzola as he sounds off on the latest movies, TV, music, gaming, comic books, and more. Now, here's the man of the hour, Marco Mazzola.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Entertainment Rants Podcast. I am, as always, your host, Marco Mazzola. Let's say hello to our ranters today. Hello, Bruno.
Hello there.
Hello there. And hello, Larry.
Hey, hey.
And hello, Mila.
Hey.
Hey. So we are going to wrap up Obi-Wan, the series, Obi-Wan Kenobi. We'll talk about the second 3 episodes, the last half, and overall the whole series in general. Let's go around the room and get everybody's kind of thoughts and ideas as to not only just the last 3, let's start with the last 3 episodes and kind of think how they work compared to the first 3, and then we'll go around and figure out how we like the series in general, all right? Who wants to go first? Let's start with Larry. He's a happy guy. Let's talk to Larry today. Hi, Larry.
Hey.
Hello there. There's going to be a lot of that, by the way.
Yeah, I was about to say, I really hope this keeps happening.
There's going to be a lot, yes. Just for Mila.
Man, this...
I couldn't find that in your
No, let's just not talk about that.
The last 3 episodes kind of solidify my thought about the whole series. Meaning, when I first heard about the series, I was like, don't really need it, don't really care for it, because we know what happens at episode 66. Order 66, rather. We know what happens in New Hope. I don't need an in-between. Series comes out, kind of proved me right. 4, 5, and 6 can eat a dick.
4, 5, 6. Big lightsaber bag of dicks.
Yeah. I
So you're giving it one dildo? One microphone, one lightsaber.
Maybe. I don't know. I know you just want to kind of highlight those 3 episodes, but just for me, it just, there was so many bad things for me about it. A couple good things, but not a lot.
I got quite a few words to say about it.
I just, thank you, Obi-Wan, for being Obi-Wan. I appreciate it. I'll see you on the Dagobah system, maybe.
I'll see you in hell.
Yeah.
You tell him who sent you.
I'll see you back on the Death Star when you get killed by Vader.
Yes. A much older version of you, only 9 years from now.
Yeah. It would have been amazing if Darth Vader was like, I'll see you in A New Hope. I'll get you then.
I'll get you then. I'll know.
That would have made it a little bit more exciting for me, I guess.
That would have been a little more fan service.
Then he looks right at the camera and goes like,
Huh? Know what I'm talking about?
He's like, huh?
From behind the mask,
But then Obi-Wan's like, what
the
are you
mask
talking
winks.
about?
Yeah.
No, you know they can't animate eyes.
No, I know
Yeah, no,
that.
that's forbidden.
I've watched every fucking Batman movie since '66, and nobody can pull it off. Oh, what Deadpool did.
It is impossible.
It is impossible. All right, who wants to cheer up this podcast next? Mila?
Cheer up is a strong word.
I know.
All right, so here's my take. The last 3 episodes I actually didn't watch until roughly 51 minutes ago. That's about as long as the episode is. And I skipped 4 and 5. No, wait. Yeah, 4 and 5, and I watched so I've only seen 1, 2, 3, and 6. I just finished 6, and I'm disappointed at the fact that I don't feel like I missed much. I was, with a couple of quick explanations near the beginning, I was back on track. I was like, oh, okay, so this is what's going on. But that was it. I was expecting to be completely lost. Oh no, so much happened. But I was like,
so not a lot happened. But in episode 4, you missed when he basically sees the graveyard or tombs of the other Jedi that they captured, and they're all stuck in basically Jurassic Park amber. You just see these Jedis that are technically alive, which they're basically using for their pre-cloning. Basically prior to what Palpatine does when you see him in the episode 9, right? And you see what's going on there.
Right,
so basically, including one of the younglings who was in Order 66. You see him kind of stuck on this amber. It's a little fucking freaky looking. It's a little weird, especially with the kid. Seeing the adults in there. We've seen that kind of thing before.
Creepy.
But when you see the kid, it's really fucking creepy.
that sounds creepy. Yeah.
And then there's the rumors out there that one of them is Mace, and it's not. One of the guys kind of from the side peripheral. It looks like Mace Windu. It's not. It's definitely not him because
I hope it's not him
because the right hand is still there.
Oh, well,
his hand, you know what I mean? So
that kind of breaks
not
that
him.
A little bit.
Yeah. So and then episode 5 was he's just Obi-Wan's just planning his next move as the Empire starts getting closer. There's really not much in that one either. It's just a little bit. It's that one to me is more of a filler.
I mean, well,
4 was a
With
little bit like
6
a
episodes, you got a filler episode.
Yeah, you really don't need a filler
I
episode.
love when they do that. I think it's the greatest thing
Yeah.
ever.
See, I'm gonna push back. I really enjoyed it, and
Yeah, I did too.
didn't
I'm not downing it. I actually really enjoyed the show.
Yeah, I didn't have high expectations, right? I didn't go into this thinking, wow, this is going to be a hugely developed series. It's going to have so much cool stuff. Like, we know how it started. We know how it ended because we know the movies prior to and post. So that, I wasn't looking for anything complicated. I just, I like Obi-Wan as a character. I think he's fun. I don't think we needed this. It was definitely a little bit more like either call it fan service or money grab, but like it was. I appreciate how they did it. Like, Ewan McGregor was amazing, and I hope to see more. I'm psyched they're doing season 2, and I think everybody they cast in it was fantastic. The little girl that plays little Leia was amazing. She was absolutely the perfect mix of like annoying / forceful, courageous and brave. And I don't think it was a super complicated story, which is why you can skip episodes 4 and 5 and pick it up at 6 and like you didn't really miss much. But like it's the details, right? So for me, it wasn't. You knew what was going to happen from the very beginning. She got kidnapped, and you knew.
You kind of know who lives and who
this
dies.
whole series, yeah, you do know who lives and dies. But this whole series, it's going to be. We're going to try to get Leia back. Now this will be the trials and tribulations of that, or at least that's what I assumed when I first saw it, and so I wasn't expecting too much more. The whole Reva storyline was brand new, and I thought that was fine. It was sort of like take it or leave it. Plus, I think they couldn't really have, Vader interact with him very much because like they don't do much between. They're not supposed to have much interaction between like.
Well, yeah, there's a little bit of like retconning almost.
Yeah.
They had to write around that to have this kind of a series where they do interact, but we know from A New Hope, he's like, I haven't felt this since I was in the presence of my old master.
Right.
So like
Long time ago.
From Revenge of the Sith, you really feel like that's supposed to be the last time. When you look at that compared to A New Hope, it really felt like that was the last time they saw each other.
Yeah.
But now you're sticking this in the middle halfway through. It's like, no, wait, it wasn't the last time they saw each other. This is the last time maybe until season 2.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How
Yeah.
much interaction do these two have
Yeah.
before A New Hope? And it's supposed to be, it feels like a long time, and it really cuts that short. But I too loved this series. I really enjoyed it. I'm a Star Wars guy, as much Star Wars as I can get. They're not all going to be home runs for me, but I'm enjoying that we got some more Star Wars, and I do love Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan. The age thing throws me a little bit, that this is only 9 or 10 years away from A New Hope, and he ages dramatically in the desert. Maybe talking to Qui-Gon is just like,
all that
really
dryness
ages
is
him.
bad
He's
for
like,
your
you're
skin.
just interminable. I can't listen to you anymore. And he grows really old.
Oh my God, this is terrible. It just goes white.
That desert will take the shit out of you in 9 years. But yeah, I mean, other than that, it's...
But I can suspend that.
there's
they're
a lot
going
of
back in time, and Alec Guinness has passed away. So
Yeah, and jumping to the end there, like that interaction with Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon was just like, really, we suffered through 6 episodes waiting for this. Like, you knew he had to be there. You knew that was going to pay off at the end. That was the payoff. It was a 2-second, like, how's the weather? Like, where you been? What the hell took you so long? Nothing like, and we talked about this before, nothing of like, yo, sorry I fucked it all up and turned the guy into the most evil shit in the galaxy. I dishonored you. I know you told me to train him, and that's what I did.
Like three lines
Might
between
be.
them.
My
Total.
boss.
Sorry.
My bad. Yep.
So is that what season 2 is going to be?
I mean, is it going to be what's Qui-Gon teaching Obi-Wan how to be a Force ghost? Because
that's how he learned how to do it.
Qui-Gon essentially,
learn how to
from
do it?
lore, is the first one to learn how to do that. Like, we've never seen a Force ghost before. Like, prior to anybody who's learned how to do it. We've seen them in Jedi, but Qui-Gon had already learned how to do that before them. And
So,
kinda
Larry,
taught.
for you, it's going to be 6 more episodes of them just in a room meditating.
Yep.
Every
Awesome.
episode is
Got it,
going to
Couple
be
of
got it.
chase scenes, couple of chase
51
scenes,
minutes of that, and then a couple flashbacks.
Maybe we'll see Leia again just because we need to put something else in there.
Well, that
Maybe
runs into a
Luke a
problem
little
too.
bit.
Like, there's some things that bumped me was the Leia, so much Leia interaction, but then when she's older, it seems like she's never met him. Like, she's talking to him like you worked with my dad during the Clone Wars. Not like, hey, remember that time we had that adventure together and you saved my ass? You can't go back and change A New Hope. So you have to write this, but like they had a lot of interaction, and it doesn't play with the fact that how she spoke to him.
It was very much like a father she never had.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So Yeah, it was just like she had never interacted with him.
It was
on the message
strong
from
connection.
R2.
Yeah.
It just seemed like she had never interacted with him. Like, yeah, you kind of did for quite a while actually, and he saved your ass, and you saved his.
But now she like looks up to him, like this character, this
Yeah.
Leia looks up to him like, oh, like she's definitely gonna remember him a lot and think of him fondly.
Yeah, but it
Yeah,
does.
but when we see that-
when we
But,
get to
but
New
in A
Hope,
New
it's like,
Hope,
no, you didn't.
but in A New Hope, you're like, what?
Yeah, it's
What happened?
very, it's very clinical. Very like, hey, you helped my dad. Can you help me now? You know?
Yeah, you helped my dad with me.
Yeah.
Awkward.
I think I was
So
there.
yeah, it was a little. That's a little weird.
I mean, the whole
You're
Reva
right,
story-
but that feels like a small point.
It is a small point. It's a small point, but it definitely
It's
like
just a
kind of like it
continuity
rubs
thing.
you the wrong way sometimes when you're kind of like, I really want this
To all hold
to
together.
meld and to mesh
Yeah.
together with what we already know from the lore. Like,
Yeah.
could we have done this different? I mean, it was a surprise the fact that they used Leia. You can't really use Luke either. Like, you can't have him on an adventure with Luke because Luke
Luke
didn't know him.
Yeah.
He didn't know him.
He knows
Yeah.
less about him than Leia did,
Right.
according
Yeah.
to A New Hope. You know what I mean?
I mean-
He's just some weird wizard in the desert in a cave somewhere.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
He's the hermit.
yeah.
So then, what would you have done, right? Who would you have included? How would you have worked
I
him
wouldn't
in
have
if you
made the
didn't
story.
use?
Right.
But if you
I was-
hadn't
I would
used
still do
those
an
two,
Obi-Wan story, but not go with Leia or
yeah.
Luke.
Maybe
Like,
go
totally
off
the-
planet
then-
or something. Do
Maybe
something else.
see them in the background, like, oh yeah, there's Luke,
Okay.
there's Leia. Like, he passes by them but doesn't interact.
So
Yeah.
that's a
So
very,
much.
very good point. But let's pretend that they had done that. Now we're sitting at the table critiquing it, and we're talking about Obi-Wan, and we're like, who gives a crap about all those side story
No.
with all these characters no one's ever heard
You
of
know how you
at
do
all?
this? Is
Who does he do?
So we know that there are Jedi out there that survived Order 66.
Mm-hmm.
I would be okay with a series of trying to find them.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
See, that'd be cool. That'd be a
Because
really
there
cool
are a
Obi-Wan
lot of
story.
adventures, right? Like there's a lot of the extended universe, the books.
Right.
Not necessarily Obi-Wan, but there's some, but there's a lot of Luke and things like that where they do a lot of the sidetrack and stuff that they do. Why not have an Obi-Wan series, like you said, where he's trying to find other Jedi and he's doing something, and peripherally, runs by and happens to see Luke in the background, like there he is, gotta go
Yeah,
now.
and that
little
would-
Easter eggs. Like,
Yeah,
I'd be
little things
okay
like
with
that,
that
but
would-
not a full-on story
Yeah.
where he has this massive relationship now with Leia
Yeah.
that never pays off in the future movies. That we
Never.
see.
And now it works because then you have an interesting story, cool
Yep.
stuff going on,
Cool
but
Star Wars,
also the
like Mando,
continuity is
right? Like-
protected.
Yeah, no,
like
that's
Mando,
that's a
you
good
know?
option.
Yeah,
I
that
like
actually is a
option.
really good idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because again,
like Mando until you brought in Boba Fett and kind of bullshitted his death.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but Mando itself.
They should have kept
They
Boba
keep
Fett
adding more that
peripheral.
no one
Yeah.
wants.
They should have kept him like
Mando
cool
is a
mention.
great story and has nothing really. You know what I mean? Like, other
Yeah.
than some peripheral interaction, you see like stormtrooper helmets or whatever. You know what I mean? But it has nothing to do with the main. The Skywalker saga, essentially.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that was why to me, that's why that worked so well.
I would have liked to seen Reva's story fleshed out more. Even like a mini series where you see sort of her go through some stuff and how she develops into, who she is. Maybe we'll see more of that in season 2.
Yeah, I mean, she did make it through with all her hate. Larry could throw the mic right through the wall right now with Reva.
Not a Reva fan?
No.
No.
I'm not the Reva story arc. I'm not a fan of. I understand it. I get it. She was one of the younglings.
Yep.
That was like she wanted to get revenge. The way that they kind of did that throughout, and then the way that they ended her story arc, I was like, let me get this straight. You've spent your whole life wanting to get back at Anakin Skywalker that you know is Darth Vader, and with just a simple give it up, and you were like, okay.
No, it wasn't that simple. He kicked her ass. He literally didn't even draw his own lightsaber. He was like, no. I'm going to
But
take
hold
your
on.
saber.
But then
I'm
she
gonna
goes
give
back
you
to
half of
Tatooine.
it.
I get that. But at the end, why didn't she kill little boy Luke? Which is another story in itself that I'm wicked pissed about. Like, how
No, I think that makes sense.
But
Tell me why. Tell me why.
first of all, what makes her go to Tatooine?
She went to Tatooine to try to find Luke. Yeah.
Okay, why?
Because she's trying to get back at what's his name?
At who?
Back at Obi-Wan. Because she feels betrayed that Obi-Wan gave the order to all the other. When the younglings were being attacked, and Order 66 was being carried out.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan was the one that sent out the message to everybody else who was not already there, saying, "Don't come here.
Yeah,
You're
go
gonna
hide."
die. You got to go hide." And so she feels personally like. He's the
Abandoned.
one that made it so that everybody abandoned her and her friends.
Yeah, nobody
So-
was.
Then why
nobody-
did she spend her
I
whole life trying to
totally-
go after Anakin and not Obi-Wan?
Well, 'cause he's the one who
Well,
slayed her.
Well, because he kind of
He's the one who slayed everybody. He turned on everybody.
She wanted to kill
She
both of
probably
them.
pissed at both of them.
Yeah, she
Gotta
was. I
keep
think
it
she was
real.
legit pissed at both of them. And she said as much. when she was
she
hunting.
used Obi-Wan to get to Vader.
Yeah, but when she was hunting, I mean, why not use one to get the other and then
One
get
could
both?
kill the other, and then you kill the leftovers.
You don't care about you having to do it. You just care about the end goal, right?
Yeah, but she could have. And, like, if you get both of them fighting and one kills the other one's going to be damaged from the fight and a lot easier to kill.
Yeah, exactly.
So she went after Luke not
totally get
because
that.
Luke was Anakin's kid, but just because there was some sort of connection between Obi-Wan.
So that she can get back at Obi-Wan.
She went after Luke to.
But then
It's tough.
proceeded to not do
And
much
then-
with Luke.
But then she
and
realized
then-
she's just a kid who's innocent and all
right,
this.
and then she brings the kid back. Okay, fair enough. And then now all of a sudden, her revenge and all her hate and everything else has gone away because Obi-Wan was like, "It's not worth it." And she's like, "Yeah,
No,
you're
that's
right."
not why. She didn't do it because she came to the conclusion that it wasn't worth it and he was an innocent kid. And then when she carried him back and he was talking to her about it, she was like, yeah, that's kind of where I ended up. And he was, I think what happened was writing-wise, they had him explain sort of what she went through and what she was feeling. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't
And the fact that just killing a kid
had nothing to do with
after
what
all
he
her
said.
friends got killed is not a great
here's
thing
the
to
thing,
do.
though. I mean,
Yeah.
I get that whole thing, right? Fine, you didn't want to kill the kid. I get that. But the way that her story, like her whole story arc was hate, revenge, hate, revenge, hate, revenge. Go after the kid because you still got that hate, revenge. You realize, hey, you know what? I don't want to kill the kid. Fair enough. I like that. Then at the end, it's all right. All the hate and revenge is gone.
No, it's still
No,
there.
it's still
They didn't
there.
say
I
it's
just
gone.
I think her hate and revenge wasn't for Luke. She also was not like a born Sith. She was turned, but probably not enough. Like I think she was just like she was forced to live that life because either that or just die. So she jumps in to be one of the Inquisitors. But the only reason she really did it was to get back at Darth Vader.
I
The thing
understand
is,
that.
That's
thing
it.
is,
So
I
like
feel
she's
like-
still holding on to
So
some of
she's not
her.
legit
She's
evil.
still holding on to some of her humanity.
Yeah.
Because she's not full on. Like her eyeballs aren't red. Like she's not like that full on hatred of a Sith.
They could have tried to show a little bit more internal conflict at least, other than like the Luke thing. Like, I'll
It's
spare
only
this
6
kid.
episodes. How much do you want?
Well, then either do something like really, really try.
I mean,
with
you're
that
advocating
storyline
for
or
a
not,
Reva
you know?
storyline, to be honest. You're advocating
You know?
for more in-depth development of her experience,
but
so that you
that
know
kinda
better what she
happened,
went through.
like,
Right, but so that's
Like,
what I'm saying. It's like
before that.
at
But
the
it's too late
end,
now.
she was fine with just walking off, high five, and going to get a cup of coffee. Like,
She
all right,
wasn't
like I
fine.
get it.
I don't think she was fine. She's a
Well,
survivor.
then show us. You know, this.
I was fine with her ending. Like,
I thought
not
that
ending, but like, I was
story
fine where they
sucks.
left her, and that we'll probably see her more in the,
Yeah,
in the
I
second
think we
season.
probably will, I bet.
I don't think we're done with her. Not that I need to see her anymore per se. I think we're just not done with her. I was fine with it. I liked her storyline. I didn't really, but if it wasn't in there, I wouldn't have mattered to me. Like I didn't like necessarily need
So that's
to
part
be.
of it too. Like you jammed the storyline down my throat, wanted me to like feel, and then just the payoff wasn't. There was.
I
nothing.
did like the fight with her and Vader. I did like that.
That was awesome.
That was
really
cool. That was
He
cool.
like stops her saber from like
Yeah.
He
turned
doesn't use the
around. He's
saber,
like,
and that
Yeah.
was great.
yeah, you're not gonna get me. Like,
Yeah,
what do you think?
I gotta
right then and
say-
there, you highlighted the fact that, like, boy, she is not even just outgunned. I mean, this is a different universe that they're living
Yeah,
in.
he
these
not only
two.
does he pull the ship down and then just rips it apart.
Oh my God!
It's like,
You know what I mean?
It's
Then he,
not.
like,
It's not they're on a
stops
different
her
level. It's a
saber
different
from
game.
behind.
It's a different game.
Yeah, it's a different game altogether.
God.
Like that was
If there
super
was-
cool to see Vader at his like most powerful.
Yeah.
you
If
know?
I
there
wanna
was
see more
one
of that.
thing, yeah.
Which
If there
we
was
will.
one thing
Which we
I
absolutely will.
if there was one thing I really, really loved, absolutely loved about the series was Vader. I just think like
That's some of the best
thing
Vader
is,
we've seen.
he's like his character is what kind of got me interested in Star Wars in the first place. Like from Rogue One, I was like, oh my God, this guy's so cool.
Yeah.
So being able to see Vader be like unstoppably like horrible, like
Massively powerful.
right, and I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. And that's something that the show did absolutely right. Was
Yeah.
Vader's whole thing,
Rage and power.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and like
that was
you
and that
didn't
brought
kill
it
Anakin,
around.
I did.
That
something
brought
like
it
that.
around to
Yes, that battle was great.
that brought it around to Jedi, whatever. When Luke kind of confronts Obi-Wan, and he's like, you told me Vader killed my father.
Yeah.
And that's where we get the payoff because he said, "You didn't kill Anakin, I did."
I did, yeah.
So like they
Yeah.
kind of retcon that, like, okay, we're gonna tell you why he actually says that and make it true because it was always like bullshit beforehand.
It wasn't bullshit. I
But
mean,
it was
you
like,
get
you didn't
it.
really get
I
a
mean,
payoff.
Yeah.
but it was a different implication, right? Because
Yeah.
so the way he originally, when we first learned about it in New Hope, we're like, oh,
Well, 'cause it was
he
always
just
that, like-
turned bad. So the way he represented that was by saying
Yeah.
that he killed him. But now,
Right, but now we
we
actually
literally
really
he said I
get
killed
it.
him.
Because it was always like that. You always rolled your eyes because it was like from a certain point of view. Oh,
I don't know.
Jesus.
I didn't
but
roll
that
my eyes. I was like,
it
all right, I
all-
get
no,
why.
yeah.
No, and I'll say that because when you had A New Hope, the first one, it wasn't decided yet that Vader was his father. They didn't decide that until Empire Strikes Back. Lucas
Is that
didn't-
right?
Yeah, Lucas didn't actually plan that until Empire Strikes Back, and and they told him that day they were going to say this.
You know what? Why don't you tell him you're his father? Let's do that.
They played that later. That was a later incarnation. That was a later script, basically saying, we're actually going to make Vader his father. So then you had to. Because in A New Hope, he basically says it, right? He tells him how Anakin dies, and a young Jedi named Anakin Skywalker, and then this guy Darth Vader came in and kills him, basically.
Yeah.
So you have to retcon why you said that. So that's where you get to, what I said was true from a certain point of view. So now you have to go all the way back and make that payoff. That he wasn't just an asshole for saying it like that, and we're like, oh, just kind of tricking you there. It's just sparing your feelings, dude.
I do appreciate
crunchy. Like, no, that's actually what Anakin felt.
These writers have done a lot of work to try to keep the timeline consistent.
Yeah, and I think they did a lot of work with trying to keep some of this shit correct and trying to sort of make amends for some of the weird shit that was in. We still haven't made amends for Luke and Leia kissing, but we'll get there eventually, hopefully. The weird incest plot.
I wonder how
they didn't know. Right at the time, they didn't know they were
it wasn't quite. I don't know that it was decided that was his sister. Like, we had to get to Vader being his father,
and
then eventually plug in the fact that that's actually his sister. Too late, they already kissed. Gross.
So actually, speaking of that, when we watched 4, 5, and 6, the episodes 4, 5, and 6 from the movies, we're not. I'm sorry. Leia thinks, or doesn't know, or doesn't imply that she was adopted by the Organas, right?
Yeah.
Like, she is an Organa.
Yeah.
In this series, she's well aware, and she knows that she's not really an Organa. So I'm trying to figure out, well, how did you mess that one up?
No, I don't think that's a mess up necessarily. The reason I said it is because in that whole series, remember when they were talking to her about it, and Organa, the father, I forget his name, but he's like, that's right. He's like, you're an Organa through and through. I don't care where you came from or who you are or what. You're an Organa, and you should carry yourself that way.
Yeah.
And I think she just grew up saying,
baby, so
she dove into it. I think she leaned into it. She's like, all right, whether I'm like bloodline to these guys isn't what's important. What's important is I was brought up
from a baby.
From a baby in their environment, with their influence. I'm an Organa.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Really, at the end of the day, it makes no difference.
Obi-Wan never actually told her who her parents were. Just you have these traits from your mom and these traits from your dad.
And that was
but she knows she's adopted.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Like, in this series,
but it kind of fits. Is what I'm saying.
In this series,
it's just vague enough.
Sorry,
Leo, go ahead.
In this series,
this
particular one that we're watching, that we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's very evident that she's adopted. There's no hiding it whatsoever.
Yeah.
But when we first watched the original series, there was never an idea or an inkling that she knew that she was adopted.
But it didn't come up.
Because it never came up. And by then, she's really sort of
leaned into
understanding the fact that she feels like she's an Organa through and through, because she doesn't really know.
She's an ambassador.
Even at that time,
she's in the Senate, right?
Even in this series, she still just didn't know that she's a Skywalker. She doesn't know that she's Luke's sister.
Yeah.
She just knows she's adopted.
She knows that she's adopted.
So she's not trying to be something else. She's just being an Organa because it's all she's ever known since birth. So by A New Hope and all that, that's what she's not even leaning into anything. She's just, this is who I am. This is who I've always been since a baby. So why am I going to play otherwise? And nobody kind of brings it up anyway. Like, you're not really an Organa.
It wasn't ever brought up. Nobody ever said, "Hey, are you adopted?" And she wasn't like, "No, I'm not adopted."
I mean, I guess I was adopted.
I mean, from a certain point of view,
right?
Here we go with a certain point of view again.
But I just think that people that go through that, they act different. There was.
I don't know. A few friends of mine are adopted, and I feel like, I mean, not all of them to a T, but for the most part, they'll tell me like, "Look, I never knew my original parents, and the family that adopted me, assuming that they treated you well, you feel like, all right, they adopted me, they took me in, they're the ones that taught me my morals, my, whatever you're taught, and like, you're that family, because you got to think about like, what makes me, my family? Is it because I've got the same bloodline, or is it because I grew up with them?
Yeah, I mean,
and so that influence.
Family isn't always blood. I get that.
That's right. So that's, I guess that's where I'm going.
Right. I just think that the way that the character was portrayed in this series, opposed to, for me, it doesn't mesh well.
I think this series just delves more into it. Like, we never really delved that far into it in the original series. Remember, other than the fact that she was a princess and that's where she was from, and then her planet gets blown to smithereens. you didn't really delve into her past that
didn't
much.
need to.
No, you didn't. So that's what this series did. It gave us more of her past.
So that
you just didn't care to have it.
That non-delving meat left like doors open.
Also,
which
remember,
they
she's
used
not
it.
like 10 or 15. She's like, I don't know,
25, 30-ish, like something like
6
that.
or something, you know?
She's in her 20s, I think, right? In the
No, I'm
movie.
talking about the show.
In A New Hope?
It's 19, 20 years later.
No, but in A New Hope.
Yeah, New Hope is about 20 years later.
Okay,
From
so
Revenge
she's
of the
like
Sith.
25.
She's
No,
20. She's 20.
They're both 20. They're twins. They're both 20. Because
No, what I'm saying is,
remember from
right
Revenge
now
of the
she's
Sith.
like 10.
Yeah. This is about 9 or 10 years later.
Okay,
from
so it's
Revenge
10
of
more
the
years
Sith.
to A New Hope. So
Yeah.
she's roughly 20. Okay,
Yeah.
I got you.
They both are, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, absolutely.
I don't know, I just feel that the writers decided to use this series to write in shit that really maybe didn't need it. And
Well, none of
that's
it's
why,
necessary. It's just more story to
Yeah.
fill in some stuff that some people
Weak.
wanted to see, and I enjoyed seeing it. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to the next series. I hope, like you said, I hope in the next series though they definitely go more out of Obi-Wan trying to find other Jedis.
Larry's right, though. Would have been cool to see them,
Yeah.
tracking down other Jedis,
Yeah.
dealing with that.
I mean, and that's
saving
it.
them.
I don't want another series of him dealing with Luke or Leia. Like we did it. We got there, and if you shove another series into that, you're really going to start
and I think
having a
jeopardizing-
hard time writing your way
jeopardizing the
out
hard
of
lines, yeah.
A New Hope. You know what I mean?
They want to keep adding lore to these characters,
Yeah.
but the thing is, they're not. I feel like they're not tiptoeing around the actual
No, I feel like they are.
Thing.
I mean, they didn't.
Like,
I think the only thing they screwed up
I'm
was
not
what
saying
Marco
they're
was saying.
stomping through it, but like they're just kind of going like, figure it out.
No, I think they
Cross that
were.
bridge when we
I think
get
they were being careful. I think the one thing that goofed up was when Marco was like, "Hey, she's not really supposed to know Obi-Wan." As of A New Hope.
A New Hope, she
So
didn't
I
seem like
think
she knew him.
It
Right.
looks like to me that was probably an error they made, but one of very few that I can remember.
Yeah,
Well,
but
there's
that's
also
not just
that
a
one
small
thing.
error, though. That's a huge. That's the whole storyline.
It's a goof up, yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
That's more than
Yeah.
a goof up.
They-
Goof up
they've
is like
really
leaving
done goofed
yeah.
then.
Well, it wasn't enough for me to flip the table and walk away, right? Like I feel
Larry
like
has no tables left in his house.
Oh man.
Flipped all those fuckers over. Is that why you had to get a new TV? Did you throw a
Facts.
table through one of your TVs?
my
I threw the table through the
Again?
TV, then through the TV through the window.
I had
Fuck
bigger
this
issues
show.
with this series with regards to like why didn't they just have him and her walk around the lightsaber fence? Why do they have to destroy the
Yeah.
like that kind of weird stuff? Like why didn't you just walk around and then
Walk around.
yeah
No.
just and they
What?
When they were coming when they coming through the guard gate.
Yeah.
And it was like the big crossfire and everything.
Oh yeah,
He
yeah.
just walked around.
You could have just walked around the gate instead of like having to destroy the gate. He's like beep beep beep. It won't undo. Smash and destroys it. Like just walk around. It was
that thing.
3 feet
Yeah.
3 feet away.
You know, you're right.
That kind of writing drives me nuts. I'm
So
like,
you go to
what?
the right.
What?
I'm trying to hang to the right a little bit.
Yeah, just a couple
It's
You
like
walk
steps.
through it,
the,
yeah.
your
Go
road
2,
is
3
blocked.
feet to the
It's
right,
like
and you're good.
Yeah,
But I
two,
mean,
3 feet.
they needed to get at some point. I'm sure he probably wanted to get the whatever they were riding through.
No, they didn't. They walked, I think.
They ended up walking because didn't they?
Yeah,
Didn't they blow
never
it
even
up?
got the car.
Didn't they
through.
like?
No,
just,
they
did
destroyed
like-
the. He shot the fence so that it turned off.
Yeah.
And then they walked through. They didn't get back
Yeah,
on the car.
I thought at one point the thing he was riding got like kind of fucked up.
Would have
a
been
little bit.
smart if
So he
they
couldn't
had.
take it.
I don't remember that.
And I could be wrong. I could be very wrong, but you have to go back and watch it. But I thought
Still
that's what
could have walked
happened.
around.
No, he still could have
walked
walked around and gone inside
It's
the
still
hut and
not
turned
that
off the
hard.
damn lasers.
Yeah.
Hey, let me walk. Yeah, I crawled through the window. I don't know.
Yeah.
I also think they were a little short on the motivation for the woman that turned from being. She was an Imperial Guard, and then she was like became a mole and helped things.
Yeah.
Oh,
helping
yeah.
them. I would have liked to see a little bit
More
more
of
of
her.
like, why did you do that? It was unclear to me.
It kind of felt like
whether
what she
she
was saying.
infiltrated in order to
Yeah.
become that, or if she was
no,
originally that and then turned to good.
So she actually says that she was like, when I signed up was for a different reason. Like,
Yeah,
she was-
Yeah, so she
good.
was.
she thought that the Empire was actually doing a good thing, and that's why she signed up to be part of it. And then
Then she committed several war crimes and was like,
yeah, she was like,
Maybe no more war crimes.
She was like,
maybe
this
that's
was
not
such a
so
good
great.
These are
idea.
assholes. I'm out of here. This is bullshit.
Yeah, so I mean, that's what it's like. She
Yeah.
she originally joined them,
Yeah.
thinking that they were doing good stuff, like helping the
Okay.
universe or whatever, and then she's like, "Oh shit, this isn't such a good
Whoops.
idea."
Whoop.
I would have
Maybe
liked
not.
to seen more on her
Boy,
part.
did I zig when I should have sagged.
after
Yeah.
blowing up a couple of planets, you
Yeah.
go, maybe not.
No
So,
planets have been
speaking
blown
of
up at
that,
that point. No planets have been blown up
oh,
at that
yeah.
point. We don't get to blow up planets in the
after-
middle.
After like blowing up some schools,
Yeah.
maybe
Killing
that
some
wasn't
kids.
such
Didn't they
a
kill
good
kids?
idea.
Isn't this the same people that killed kids in a
maybe we
temple?
should.
Did you?
No, that was just a rumor.
You? How about the Benny Hill-esque escape out of the fortress when Obi-Wan had just a jacket and he had little, like,
hit under there. Yeah,
I'm watching this going, this
was
isn't
bad.
real. Like, is this really happening?
Yeah.
That was really bad.
Yeah, just
Like,
a whole
that
bunch
really
of women in
pissed
like
me
bikinis
off.
running around, like, in lingerie, chasing after the little old man.
Little man smacking the back of the head.
Yeah.
Benny Hill, you gotta watch it. It's hilarious.
No,
It's
don't
bad.
watch it.
Don't watch it.
Don't watch it.
Don't watch it.
I'm
It was
probably gonna
inappropriate
watch
at
It's
the
the
time.
worst of the 70s.
It was inappropriate at the time. It's really bad in
appropriate.
2022.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, so it's like,
Yeah, like under the coat.
Yeah.
It was
And
so.
not surprisingly enough, my grandmother and I used to watch that together. My mother's mother.
I mean, everybody.
She used to
it was
watch it with
on,
us.
and everybody was like, "Haha, this guy's so funny," and he was
Oh
like,
my god, it was so inappropriate.
"Oh my god."
Like, you wouldn't think your grandmother's letting you watch it.
Even as a kid, I was like, "This doesn't feel right."
Looking over at my grandmother, she's like cooking or something. Like, we good with it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
My grandmother was sitting on the couch. We were sitting on the couch with her. We'd all watch it. And my grandfather, we all watched together.
You just kind of
Can't even imagine in 2022
Oh
what
my
happened.
god! Oh my god!
Go to
That
jail.
was pretty bad.
But yeah, that was a terrible escape.
Yeah, I mean, but there was like things like that, and it, like, while I'm watching this series, it's like, there's certain parts of it that clearly look like that they put a lot of time and thought into it, right? And then there's other parts that was just like, that's Chad.
Benny Hill escape,
Yeah, you have a Benny Hill escape. Cool.
You know what I did like though? I really, really liked episode 5 when they had Obi-Wan and Anakin sharing the vision. It was a flashback that they were both when they were battling
when they were training.
when they were training.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they were sharing that, and then like the whole episode was kind of mirroring some of the stuff that
It
happened there.
was. The only
that
thing
was
I
that
had
to
with
me
that
was
actually
like
sounds cool.
that was good writing. I felt.
The only
like.
issue I had with that, and this is a technical point, I thought the animation of de-aging him wasn't done well.
I didn't think so
Especially-
either.
I didn't think it was
Especially
too
with
bad. Yeah.
So I think, like,
Hayden Christensen especially was just not done that well. Like they've done better.
Yeah.
I just thought it was still some like, yeah, he still looks a lot older. He
Hayden
still looks
Christensen,
like
I don't think
because they
aged
didn't
too
put
well
much-
to
No, he
begin
did
with.
not. He did not
So it was
age
going to take a
well,
lot of
no.
work to make him, what
They
he
didn't put him.
was.
They put him. You're saying they didn't put like a hard filter on
Put
him,
one of
right?
those
They
It
didn't-
wasn't. He
should have
still
aged him
looks a
more.
little older than he
De-aged him
did
more.
in Revenge of the Sith, like
Okay.
he did in Clone Wars. Yeah,
I gotcha.
yeah, he
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
looked older.
Yeah, he looked rough.
He looked a little bit closer to what he looks like now.
Well, he looked like he was a boy when they did.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
look what
First
they
three.
did. I even thought like, and this is going back. I even thought what they did to Robert Downey Jr. in the Winter Soldier
That was rough.
better.
That was awesome.
It was really
That was
good.
better. It still wasn't perfect. There's some weirdness around the eyes.
probably-
it was too cleaned up, but it was.
There's
it
a
was
lot of
dealt
but there's
better.
a lot of work in order to do that, and the budget was
yeah.
probably a lot bigger.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah,
you know,
that's-
but they did like a great job with Samuel L. Jackson, and you know
Yeah.
what I mean. There's been a lot of stuff they did that with, and this wasn't quite there. I mean,
Yeah.
but you know,
I
but
thought it
and I
was-
know what
I
you're
thought it was good,
saying.
though, yeah.
But it's Disney money, so like, get on it. You have the
No,
budget,
but,
you have the
like,
money, you
these
have the
things move
back up the
fast,
brains.
right? These things move
Yeah,
fast.
that's the problem.
Yeah, they don't have the time, and if they do have the time,
They're doing a
the
full
budget
movie. They
might
have
be-
the 6
yeah.
to 8 months, even a year to
Yeah.
do all the
Yeah.
and they,
These
they
guys
have like
have
a
got-
million different places doing the work too.
Yeah, these
It's
are
not just one house.
52-minute. You know, you're talking to me like 3 movies essentially. You know,
Yeah.
there's a lot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the fight scenes were awesome. I love
Oh my
it.
god!
Fight
Yeah.
scenes were good.
Yeah.
Fight scenes
Yeah.
were good.
Talk to me about the Vader
it.
Obi-Wan fight scene and your overall thoughts, because I personally he just buries him in the rock. I thought that was kind of weird, and I also thought that was the point where we're going to see Qui-Gon, where he's under there and he's still calling for him. Like, to me, that would have been the perfect choice.
No, I'm
to
glad he
help him
didn't.
out from
I'm glad
that,
he didn't,
but, like-
because then he would have been like, Qui-Gon, help! Like, oh god.
Yeah.
Qui-Gon, take
Yeah,
me away.
no.
Yeah.
I'm okay with just not seeing Qui-Gon. I know he was like,
No, I'm glad
we're
we got to
definitely
see him, just not the way we did.
My question is, how is he gonna help in the future? Like, he's just gonna be.
Well,
like,
he's going to teach. He's basically going to teach him how
words
to be a
of
Force
wisdom?
ghost. Yeah, he's going to teach. He's still his mentor, and he's going to teach him how to be a Force ghost. Because that's what Yoda said to him.
Right.
Yeah, your old master's going to basically teach you how to become closer
Yeah.
to the Force and last.
I thought that battle was good though.
That
Yeah,
battle was
that-
awesome.
I thought it was
love
really
the fight
cool.
scene.
I
And when
love
he
it.
cuts the mask, it's on the
Yeah.
opposite side.
Left side.
It mirrors like the Clone Wars and some of the stuff that they did in the animation.
Right.
It's really cool when you see his
And
eyes.
the voice
Yeah.
was some of his and some
Yes,
of
that was-
Vader.
that was
They
great.
kept
That was a
bouncing back
beautiful
and
touch.
forth.
That
Yeah,
really
yeah.
that added
You
some
didn't
serious
kill
effect.
Anakin
And they did a good
Skywalker.
job. They did a good
I
job
did.
de-aging James Earl Jones's voice throughout that too. They
Yeah.
used a lot of
Oh my
filter.
god, yeah.
Yeah, that was
They did a
huge.
good
Heavy
job with
filter.
that.
So
Yeah.
so much about
So
that.
this
was
is the
awesome.
thing that like really actually really pisses me off about the series, because there was so many like really awesome
Mm-hmm.
things, But for me, it was only like 20% of the whole series was really awesome.
There was some clear hits and all.
20% more than Boba.
Misses.
Yeah.
Fact.
At least 19, if not 20% more.
Fax machine on that one.
This was way better than Boba Fett.
shit.
Literally, like Boba Fett's such a low bar.
It's a low bar.
To
You
pass.
it's buried under the sands of Tatooine. That bar.
Yeah.
It's like walking in the sand for like how many episodes?
You kind of stumble on this like metal thing. Like what the hell's
10
that?
or something.
There's a metal bar deep in the sand.
I
Ridiculous.
mean, Boba had some redeeming points, but it could have been a lot better.
Some.
Could have been a lot
That's
better.
pretty-
That
pretty low bar.
one should have had a lot better.
It should have been better.
This one, like I said, like in every
Well, from like
episode,
one of the most fan favorite characters in the entire franchise.
Yes.
And they
Yeah,
reduced
they did
him
him
to one of
wrong.
the
They
least
did him
interesting
wrong.
characters
They did
in
him
one
ugly.
series.
They did him ugly in that series. Hopefully, series 2 like makes it better or something.
I-
brings it
I-
around.
Series
To see more
2.
Cad Bane.
Yeah,
I'd like to see more Cad
I'd like to
Bane.
see more Cad. I want to see a real Cad Bane fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something really cool. Like you said,
A little
you know, we
darker
did
blue,
it.
maybe.
A little darker blue, please, would be good. You know, maybe when he revives. He
No,
gets
but
this
he'll be
pigmentation
older, so
down.
he'll be
Son of a
lighter.
bitch, he's gonna
Dear
be white
Disney,
as a sheet.
please give him a darker
He's gonna be
blue.
white as a sheet. Okay?
God damn it.
But,
No, in season 2, I hope they do more of the flashback shared visions. I thought that was really
Yeah.
a good way to like show you more about what Vader's feeling without having to like say
Yeah.
all these things.
Yeah.
And it really, it really hardens their relationship with each other. Like we saw a lot of it in the actual movies, but I think we missed a lot of it as well because it kind of advanced so quick from a Phantom Menace to Clone Wars. He was a little kid, all of a sudden now he's like,
yeah.
I mean, a teenager, an older teenager, young adult, but like it was a massive gap of time that they were together. You never got to see. I'm sure they'll fill it in eventually with some bullshit series, but that's fine.
We're going to have every year filled in.
That's right.
I know, it's like any
Like-
question that somebody has, just go on to Disney Plus.
That's right.
One
Disney Plus.
year later.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly right. Just a movie, a Phantom Menace,
What-
1 year
what I
later.
didn't-
Shit.
What I didn't like is how
This galaxy only
ended
these
it.
fucking people. Like, is there anybody else that lives
Season
here?
2 years
2
later.
years later.
Like, oh my god.
It's another goddamn birthday scene. Oh, good. It's another Life Day. What'd you get for Life Day this year?
The way that they kind of just walked away from each other really bothered me. They fight. Anakin does his thing. Obi-Wan does his thing. Obi-Wan, eat these rocks. I'm gonna
Eat this
fuck you
shit.
up. Eat all this shit.
That was
He's
awesome.
like,
I love that he threw the rocks.
This was so great. But then it's like, well, the whole you didn't kill Anakin, I killed Anakin. Then he's like, then I guess my friend truly is dead.
Yeah.
He puts his lightsaber away.
Later,
and
Darth.
walks away.
Well, also,
Yeah, but,
the
Obi-Wan-
thing is,
Obi-Wan's not a killer.
Hold on. So the thing is, I think Obi-Wan didn't want to kill Anakin.
Yeah.
And Darth Vader.
Anakin's already dead.
Yeah,
And,
but
no,
he
the thing
still
is,
can't
that's
do
what
it.
I'm
He still
saying.
can't
But
bring himself to do
Anakin
it.
also couldn't continue the fight because he can't breathe. And also his helmet's kind of half off,
Right, but
so
with-
But, like, at the end of the day,
Obi-Wan
still-
Obi-Wan still walked away.
Do you think in A New Hope he could have killed Vader, or was he just not powerful enough by Come to A New Hope? Because at that point, he still can't kill him. He sacrifices himself to let them get away, or you just could have killed him, and they still would have gotten away, including you.
My impression.
You also would have gotten away.
Yeah, but my impression of the whole Obi-Wan storyline where he can't or doesn't want to kill Vader is because he's still fond of him. He's fond
Yeah,
of his
he treats him like a
prior
son.
He
student.
still
He was
thinks
his
of him
son,
like a
essentially,
brother or
right?
son.
He
Even though
adopted
they
him
call
like
him
that.
brother, but you know, through most of it, you were my brother. But like
he was like a father, a second father to him, and so like you can't. It's like a parent whose child commits a heinous crime. That parent still loves that child, even though this kid
Plus, he
did
still
something
feels
terrible.
like he was supposed to do something right by him
Yeah.
to Qui-Gon.
Yeah,
Because
and
Qui-Gon
he-
was his mentor.
Yeah,
like
so
his
he probably
father
feels like-
it's like, fuck, I really fucked this up.
Yeah. So I
I'm
can't.
still doing it. I'm still fucking this up.
I definitely get
I
it.
can't pull this back together. I don't know why.
So he's probably like, I'm not going to kill you, but I'm not going to stay here. I'm going to go. And you
I'm not
seem
going to kill you, but I don't have to save you either.
Yeah, I think he's holding out hope, and that hope was well founded because at the end of the day, Darth
He needs
Vader.
a new hope.
Darth Vader turns turns
Huh?
good again. Or,
Title drop?
partially good.
There you go. Here.
Thank you. That was great.
Ba-dum-bum.
I don't know. I just think that the writing for that should have been done a little bit better.
Are you saying you wish he would have killed him?
No, I honestly wish that Vader.
New series, new timeline.
No, listen.
Oh my God, there's a
Wanna would have been awesome.
Fuck,
If that had happened, I'd be like,
Every
what just happened to the rest of the series?
4 through 9 is gone.
Because part of that, what I didn't like, is now Vader goes back to his ship. He's all done up, and then the Emperor's like, "Yo, I think that you're still like wanting to face Obi-Wan, and we need you to like stop worrying about that because we need this." And he's like, "Okay, fine, I'm all done with him." So,
Well, I mean, I think he's trying to convince him that, don't you think?
no, I think like he absolutely felt that, because as powerful as Vader is, he could have grabbed him up. And especially as they get older, like he gets stronger within the dark side, right? So I think that he could have possibly went after him at any given point, but he clearly just says, "All right, fine. The Emperor wants me to forget about Obi-Wan, so I'll just forget about Obi-Wan." That pissed me off.
Well, we know
you
he
know why?
doesn't. But he doesn't. He's just trying to appease the Emperor.
But wait a minute,
he also
no.
explained, the Emperor was like, if you're not going to stop going after him, I'm going to find a new Sith Lord and you're out.
Right.
And that's real bad, right? That'll be
I'll
real
make
bad.
another one look just like you.
I'm
I
just-
got plenty of those helmets in the back row.
But that's what I'm saying, though.
I
And he
have
was
plenty of
like,
extra
"All right,"
limbs.
and
Don't worry
right,
about
that's
it.
what I'm
Essentially
saying. He's like,
threatened him.
"Okay, fine. I'm gonna stop chasing him." And then that's the end of it. That's the end of him chasing Obi-Wan.
We don't know that.
Yeah, but see,
Yeah, but the thing is,
there's a series
there's
2
a thing
coming.
called maybe
you
he
don't have
lied.
you don't have
So
kids
wait,
yet.
so wait.
You don't have
Hold
kids
on.
yet, so I
Hold
get
on.
it. But like kids will be like, "Okay, Dad, okay," and then go off and just do whatever the fuck they want anyway. Like that's essentially what he's
he's
doing.
like-
I used to do that to Nando all the
He's
time
like,
with my
oh,
pants.
Because no,
Remember?
after he clicks
Torture
hang
with
up,
the pants. Like, yeah, it's great. Do you want a pair? I just torture you all the
after
time.
he hangs up, he's like, "Fucking Lord Vader, I can do whatever I want."
Exactly.
You know who I am,
Exactly.
bitch? Remember
Right.
James?
Right. Until we see wait a minute.
James.
Until we see him in New Hope, and he's like, "Wow, it's been a very long time since I saw you, my old fucking master." So we know he hasn't seen him in forever and a day, which means that he gave up when the Emperor said, "Give up,"
I
and
mean,
he's
that
like,
could be
"All
a
right."
year. You don't know what he thinks is a long time. It kind of seems that way because they did
It's like,
jump the
oh,
scene
no.
it's been
halfway.
3 minutes already.
You guys are trying to make shit work that don't work. What would have been good is if they.
What would you have wanted him to do?
Hear me out. If they had an awesome fight, and
Which
just
they-
as
which they
epic,
did.
which they did,
All right.
and Vader leaves him to die thinking under the rock and shit, and Vader turns around and walks away. So in Vader's mind, Obi-Wan is gone until he sees him
I
again
thought the
10
same
fucking
thing.
years later in New Hope and goes, "Holy shit,
You're still alive. You're like a bad penny.
That would have been better.
Jesus. You're like a bad penny.
That
You're
would have
popping
been
up, old
better
man.
than Obi-Wan just leaving Vader to himself.
Yeah.
And just going, "All right, dude, high five later, I'm out of here."
No, he's not
done
wrong.
with you.
Larry's not wrong.
Yeah.
It would have been a more congruent ending because Vader thinks he's, just like Obi-Wan thought Vader was dead and he left him. He's like, "Oh, he's dead. He's burning. I'm good. I got out of here." And then 10 years later, he somehow finds out he's alive, even though we all know he should have known better. But if you reversed
Then you wouldn't
it,
have had the Anakin. I killed Anakin,
Yeah.
not you.
yeah, they could have
Because
done
that
that
happened
beforehand.
after. They could have done it
Yeah.
beforehand.
They
Yeah.
could have done that beforehand and ended it that way. Had all the exposition before
Yeah.
That's true.
Vader
They
leaves
should have had
him.
all
And then
that
Vader's
battle
looking down
in
at him
that
going,
original,
"You
and
didn't
then he
kill him, I
buries
killed
him.
him."
Yeah.
And
And he
walks
buries
away.
Because it was
He
kind
leaves
of
him-
like
Yeah, that would have been good.
That would have been
kinda
really
nothing-
awesome.
I don't think there's anything wrong with what you just suggested. I think it's actually a really good change. But the way they did it, where he's like, where Obi-Wan leaves and says, "You're not him anymore. I pity you," basically, and and he leaves.
But he still could have done
Like,
all that beforehand.
I can swallow that.
And Vader
I
could
don't
have
think
still been
it's-
like, "I don't give a shit. I hate you. I'm gonna bury you, and I think you're dead," because he did that old trope of a villain. It's like, "Oh, I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna wait till. Why don't I just tell you my plan?" Right? Like, I'm just gonna put you in the inescapable death trap that you're still gonna get out of, and I'm gonna watch. Instead of like most villains leave. And they
Yeah.
don't watch him. He stays there and watches him get out, basically. And he didn't. He actually did
No.
walk
I
away.
know, he walked
No,
away.
he
And then
did.
comes
No, he
back.
walked away.
He was walking
walking away.
But he should have.
And then Obi-Wan went.
Obi-Wan
whoosh.
went get him again.
And again,
Well,
like,
Obi-Wan wanted to finish the fight or something.
Yeah, that's my point.
The
It should've just been
suggestion
all
that
that
Larry
before,
just
and then
made
Vader-
is a perfect one.
Yeah,
I
Vader
think
should've
it
just
would have
buried
been a
him and
better way.
left.
I
Yeah.
think it would have been a better way. But
Yeah.
they didn't.
I'm not too upset about what happened either.
Yeah. So because they didn't, I can still swallow what they did. Like I felt like that battle was realistic-ish, and at the end when the Emperor's like, "Look, you better call this off or you're fucking out."
Yeah.
I get that too. Like that happens in corporate America all the time. It happens
you look just like you.
in parents, parents and kids. Like you just like the look. Stop it or else.
Yeah.
And then you're like, all right, I'm going to stop it. And
But in the
whether
background,
you're
he's still gonna
really,
do
the
it,
background
yeah.
is still like, if I get a shot
From
at
his
this,
tower, he's still going to be like,
I'm
"Find
going to take him out.
Just don't tell anybody.
He
Find
really
him."
Yeah.
thinks I'm gonna stop.
Yeah.
But
Joey, you go out and find him. When you know, let
but
me know.
again, like you're
Folds a little
you're
couple
suspending
bills.
you're
Side
suspending the
money.
idea that he absolutely fucking hates him.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and if
I don't
hate
think you're
and,
suspended.
and hate and rage can bring a motherfucker back from the dead, I seriously doubt that he would just be like, "Yeah, all right, cool." Now again,
Yeah, but the Emperor's still more powerful than Vader,
Yeah.
and he knows that.
He's a lot more powerful. He can shoot lightning.
I was about to say he's got lightning.
That's a dark side force.
He can
thing.
fry all of his circuits.
Right, and I just wish that they
all the
wrote that a little bit differently than just.
I agree.
Beef is over. I'm gonna go back to Tatooine, and I'm gonna go back to a desert, and you're gonna go back up to a ship. High five. Go grab a coffee. I'll see you in a few years on a ship again.
No, but I've seen.
So it's like.
I mean, I don't know. I could swallow the conversation he had with him because I've seen conversations like that in real life, where like an upper level executive has said to a lower level,
I'm going to the canteen and get me one of them Wookiee burgers. Have you tried them? Nah, they're a little chewy.
We're talking about Star Wars, and you said real life.
No, I've seen it in real life, so I can understand how somebody who hates something like that.
I know we're supposed to not have side conversations, but that was funny as shit.
What happened?
I said you gotta go back to the cantina and have a new Wookiee, one of those new Wookiee burgers. Have you tried them? They're a little chewy.
Hit it again. Hit the button again.
Woof. And I get what you're saying. Yeah, of course that happens. But here's the thing, though.
Podcast is devolving in front of our eyes.
I'm watching this show not for real life lessons or real like world things. I'm looking at this as a fucking fantasy Star Wars Cowboys.
No, but you're judging the possibility of something happening by like, would that really happen? Would somebody kind of buy that storyline? That's all I'm saying. If there's a vengeance plot, you're gonna think, does that make sense? Why would he, like, if you saw Darth Vader stub his toe, would he have mortal vengeance against the table? No, he'd be like, God damn it.
I don't know, maybe.
I know, I have. Swear up and down, I've tested every piece of furniture in my house. But
I was so, thank God my kid still needs his high chair, because the other day I was ready to throw it over the balcony.
Yeah.
Stub my toe, like, this thing's gone.
But like,
oh, crap, I'm supposed to eat this thing. Otherwise, that thing was getting hurled over the balcony.
It's got to be based in real life.
I do, right? But it's just the way that they edited it, I was just disappointed in it, and I wish that they just wrote it.
I think your suggestion is a better one. I do.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
So that's just my thing. Like, and I don't want to super shit on the series, but like I said at the beginning, for this
might be a little late for that, Larry.
You did just pretty late on this.
You know what?
Do you want to listen Albert?
This fucking thing sucked. I'm very upset.
You took a big old Winnie the shit on this.
I took a Winnie the shit on it.
I like the series. I liked it. But I hear you, man. I hear where you're coming from. You're saying, some of the stuff didn't hold enough water.
I feel like there's a lot of shit
it would have been
jammed in there. And it was like, I want to see more Inquisitors.
I would have liked that. I'd love to see more in season 2. You never know.
Yeah, I can't stand it. I have no use for the Inquisitors. I could care less if they ever show up again.
So then you could care less.
I could just, a little bit less.
That pisses me off about like these Disney Star Wars shows. Other than The Mandalorian, it's been like, oh man, I hope season 2's better.
Yeah,
do you
a
know
lot of potential.
Times?
Yeah, you fucked
Count
it.
how many
Maybe
times we've said that. I bet in season 2 it'll be better. At least try on season 1 for Christ's sake.
Should be better.
I think season 1 has been pretty good, and most of Boba Fett being the exception.
Yeah.
So Disney Plus's new tagline is "Fingers crossed, season 2 will be better."
Pretty much. Yeah.
I mean, do I watch an Obi-Wan season 2?
I don't want Boba Fett season 2.
I think Boba Fett season 1.
Keep the podcast live, I guess. I don't really know.
I think the upside is if they're doing a good job of maintaining canon, right?
Yeah.
They're not shitting all over it and rewriting everything.
Yeah.
They're writing around everything as best
everybody
they
on
can.
top of their chair screaming at their keyboards.
Yes, right.
Caps locks will never get turned off.
So that's how you give users good content. You're giving them what they want. You're giving them what they hope to see, what they hope to have, whereas some other shows don't do that. So I appreciate that. Whether they're doing whether it's like an exciting show like Boba Fett was super boring, whether it's exciting or not, they're maintaining the canon. I think I appreciate that.
So it boils down to, especially with the Disney Plus shows, like in Marvel and Disney both, there's two schools of the way they're running it, right? You can either go slow and steady, give us more, better write, take your time to write better, but then it makes it further apart what things we get, or they just jam everything really close together. And if this is bullshit, you don't like it, don't worry about it, because next week something new starting. And you're going to forget all about this show because now it's Miss Marvel, and oh crap,
that feels
now
more
She-Hulk's
MCU-ish.
coming, and Thor's out, and you know what I mean? Like Doctor Strange, you weren't really a fan of it. Well, don't worry about Thor's out now. You know what I mean? Oh, you don't like that one? Don't worry about Quantumanium's coming on today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
they're not giving you time to absorb it.
There's not
which is
giving you
actually
time to really hate on it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of is, because at the end of the day, it can be the greatest fucking movie movie in the world, and people are still going to shit all over it on the internet because it's just people who just love to hate.
Me.
No, Larry, not you. No,
I think your criticisms are legit.
Phase 4 of Disney, like of Marvel, has been pretty shit so far.
A lot of people feel that way.
Well, they launched it with Eternals, and so
I really
I
think Phase 4 is just shit so far.
Yeah, but they came right out with Spider-Man.
Spider-Man was good.
One win, and then everything else was like either mid or bad.
Black Widow started Phase 4.
I didn't like Black Widow at all.
Could have been so much better. Well, Black Widow's the movie we should have had 5 years ago.
Yeah, it was definitely way past its time.
That's the problem with that one, yeah.
Yeah, if they had pulled it together, they could have done it earlier, but they didn't.
It also had some really weird inconsistencies.
Yeah,
like
when I watched Black Widow, I was like,
thing.
oh, this is going to start bad.
So, there you have it. All right.
Anywho, Obi-Wan.
All right. So, Obi-Wan, let's go around the room. Let's give it our final dildos or mics. I don't really care. Whatever you want to do.
All right, how many out of 5?
Yeah, how many out of 5?
I'd give it a 4.5.
That's not what I was expecting.
That's not what you've been talking about the whole time.
I know, right? Talk about inconsistent writing.
Wait. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I was thinking it was like out of 10 again. I don't know. I said 5, but I just really like 10 more, but I guess we'll do 5. All right, no, my bad. I'd give it like
you can go 4.5. It's all right.
I'd say like a 3.2. 3.2.
3.2.
Yep.
When do we get these points? Are those just halves?
Well, you keep saying halves, but it's just.
But you just weren't happy with the halves?
No.
I'm not happy with your halves bullshit, so I'm making my own.
I'm not taking with the halves.
Got it. Larry, 7.25892.
I'm gonna give it 2.
Two good fingers.
2 Freedom Rockets right here, buddy. I'm gonna give it a 2.
I need both hands for signaling.
Yeah. This, like I said at the beginning of this was absolutely what I thought it was. This was the story that I didn't need because again, we know what happened in Order 66. Everybody disappeared. We see him in Tatooine 20 years later. New Hope. Cool. I didn't need that middle stuff. Thanks for showing it to me. I guess didn't need it. Thanks. Cool fight scenes. Wanted to see more Vader. Cool fight scenes. I wanted to see a shitload more of Inquisitors. Got nothing. Because that's kind of what brought me into the series.
They kind of turned out to be bitches.
Yeah, a little bit. A bunch of bitches.
Yeah,
so,
really
this
they definitely were better in like the Clone War stuff, like where we saw them before.
Exactly, yeah.
They also might not be done with them yet.
I know they're done with them. I think they're just.
I think they're just going to still be shit next
But here's the thing, though, right? When you have characters like that are supposed to be like strong-willed characters, and you kind of dumb them down a little bit, and you're introducing people who didn't see the Clone War animation.
Yeah, I don't remember too much from the original animation stuff.
So I thought they were so cool. If you just got introduced to them now and you really don't know about them, you're like, wow, those characters suck. They didn't
make them scary.
Yeah,
nobody fears them.
No.
Yeah,
and they're supposed to be.
They kind of did the same thing with Cad Bane. Like he was there, but he wasn't as.
They
should have had him
bluer. I think
do some crazy killing before that.
Yeah, he was darker.
So you
he's a crazy badass.
So for me, just overall, I give it.
So 2 big rockets up the ass from Larry.
Yeah.
Bruno, how about you?
Since we're doing decimal, I'll go 4.625.
All right, I like it.
I liked it. I thought it was enjoyable. I thought it was a story. It was a story I was more happy to have than Solo. I thought. So I liked it. I thought Ewan McGregor was awesome.
Yep.
I enjoyed seeing Darth Vader at full power. Although when he did grab the ship, I was a little bit like, bullshit, but it was fine. Like, we don't know how strong he really is. So he pulled the ship down. I was like, okay, all right, I'll buy it for now.
It's Vader.
It's Vader.
Yeah.
He's just that cool.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought the casting was really good, and I enjoyed the story.
Yeah. I gave it 9/16.
Sweet.
That fraction doesn't make any sense.
9/16? That's not even one.
That's not even one.
So
I give it. I'm going to give it a 4.3.
Okay.
We've just thrown the rating system out the goddamn window. We throw away some bad
okay
fodder.
I'm
so
okay
yeah,
with that.
I'll go 4. Oh yeah, I'll stick with that. I like that. There was definitely some really strong points that I really enjoyed. I am glad we got more Obi-Wan. I'm glad we got a new. I like some of the. I like that where there was a 20-year gap, and I do want to know what happened. There's some shit happened in that 20 years. Something he didn't just sit in that cave the whole time. I want to know what happened.
That'd be kind of disappointing to find out.
He would turn into Gollum with giant eyes and no hair and just looking for his
I
precious.
think he just turned into like a regular dude.
Yeah,
just walking around with a robe on,
chilling, just hanging,
just chilling because Luke says it.
And
What do you
because the
mean
fact that we
pay on-
get this Order 66, and they're still hunting the Jedi even after that. Just not as fiercely as they were, because they're like, okay, there's a few of them left, and they're not going to pull together and do anything, so we don't really have to hunt them, which is in some explanation stuff that I looked at. That's why Palpatine isn't so hyped up on getting them.
No.
Because he's like, yeah, there's a couple of them
They're
left.
not gonna unite.
They're not
Let them
really
grow
able
old and
to.
forget about
They're
it.
not like the full-on order that they had, so they're not as powerful. So why are we wasting our goddamn time?
He probably figured there's no way that they'll like come back together and form a rebellion and then maybe destroy, like a Death Star that we might build in the future.
That's
Or
They were already
anything
building
like
it by
that.
then.
For example.
Remember, they were
you
already
know.
building it by then, because
Yeah.
by the end of Revenge of the Sith, we see
Yeah.
them standing at the ship looking at the Death Star being built.
Right.
So they're already building it by then. So by the time New Hope comes around, just about finishing. But the final little tip.
It is not yet
The
fully
paint's still
operational.
drying. Easy. The paint, don't step to the paint's drying.
Alright.
So.
Boom.
There you go. All right. There it is. Obi-Wan, Season 1, Series 1, whatever the hell they want to call it. Looking forward to Series 2. Well, at least one or two of us are. The other two, that's okay. We'll find something else for you guys, because there's more stuff coming around the bend.
We'll see.
A big She-Hulk. I did that on purpose. Everybody into Miss Marvel? Who's into Miss Marvel? Anybody watching
Honestly, I haven't watched any of the the Marvel shows. Miss Marvel,
Miss
She-Hulk.
Marvel's been fun.
Like none of it's really
yet.
grabbing my attention anymore.
I was
kinda
surprised at Miss Marvel that I've actually enjoyed it as much as I have. I could care less about the character, just because it's not in my wheelhouse.
Right.
I have nothing against
Oh, yeah.
the character. I have nothing, but I'm sure it's a very meaningful character for a lot of people. I think it's an important character to have, and her origin and where they take her from. But it's just not my wheelhouse. I don't really care about the teenage, characters.
It seems
especially-
very CW.
It does, but and it kind of seems like that way. But in the show, they're doing more with it, and I've really enjoyed it. I have to say, surprisingly enjoyed the series. I'm looking forward.
I'll probably
to finish.
start that this week because I still have to finish up my last episode of The Boys.
Holy crap! I was going to talk to you about
Oh,
that.
I haven't seen the last
Holy
episode.
shit
I
on
have,
a
I
cracker!
have one episode left to watch.
Oh, I can't believe I'm so mad at you right now that you
I
didn't
know.
watch it. We can't talk about
I
it even
know.
offline.
I've got two.
Oh yeah, you're not worried about it. You didn't even watch the last 3 episodes of Obi-Wan,
Obi-Wan,
even though we're
yeah.
on today's date as talking about it.
I don't know much.
So not really shocked there, but the point is, you should have watched the last episode of
No,
Boys.
I know.
Have you watched any of it? I know you're not a huge
I haven't
Boys
seen it yet.
fan.
I haven't seen
God.
this season.
Oh Jesus Christ! On a cracker, that thing is like it's great.
Yeah,
last
I
episode
can't
is
wait.
nutty.
Yeah.
It is nuts.
Yep, I know.
So
I've
watch it.
purposely-
We'll talk about it, and then maybe we'll do a Boys review for the season, because we
Oh,
should do a
I'd love
Boys
We do
review.
that.
That would be
Yeah, I mean,
awesome.
hey, that's for me. It'll be full circle.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Then that's when you started with, right?
Yep.
All right, and that's the end of Larry on the show. Fantastic.
Oh my God!
Hope you enjoyed him, everybody.
Is this
He's
Larry's
out.
series finale.
I know the last one of The Boys. When we do The Boys, that'll be my
That's
Larry
it. That's his
finale.
swan song, and he's out.
Damn.
All right, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you, Mila.
Thank you.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bruno.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. We are Entertainment Rants at entertainmentrants.com. Find us online on our social media at Entertainment Rants, and send us an email at engageentertainmentrants.com. We look forward to hearing from you guys. Feel free to drop us a review on Apple Podcasts or anywhere they have reviews. I think Apple's like one of the only ones that actually does really good reviews. We'd really appreciate it. And thanks, everybody. Get out there, and what are we going to do?
Let's rant.
That's right.
What?
Boop, boop, boop.
All right, just keep talking to Mila. Just keep talking to Mila. That's fine.
What?